Hi, I'm Mary Sayers DaMotta. I was president 2019-2020. How I got involved with the club is I've been here since I was a baby. My parents have been members, they're life members, and me, my brothers, the whole family, all my cousins, we're down here all the time running around on the pitch. Played Gaelic football. Yeah, my father was chairperson of Irish Northern Aid for many years when I was a kid. I remember couldn't go to school that day, or it was a day off from school, and I wasn't in school, and I went with them, and they were doing the Queen, or somebody was coming out, and so we were protesting, and I got to hold my sign and march along with them, and I just thought I was all that, because I was with all the Irish Northern Aid people, and and I just thought that was so cool. I remember, like, during the Irish Northern Aid dances, I was being in the coat room, thinking we were like loaded because we'd made like $5 in tips. My son and my daughter both played Gaelic football and hurling. My daughter was a North American county player for the Gaelic football. Very involved in the club. Both my children are members now. I think the generations and the culture, it's important to pass on to our children. When my son joined the club, when asked why he was going to join, he's like, because it's the right thing to do. That's what you do. That's what we do. And I think this club has been just such a big part of my life, and now my children's lives, my parents' lives, that it's a family. Part of the political part of it is, well, when I was in 4th grade, we had to write a paper. What do we want to be when we grow up? And I actually interviewed Tom Folan and wrote my paper about wanting to be the president of the Irish American Club. I was doing a lot of volunteering with GAA, and they had come to me because they needed somebody to run for vice president, and thought that would be a good foot in the door for me. They, I think, wanted me to run further. At that time, vice president was more than enough for me. A few years as a vice president, and then decided that it was time for me, I felt that it was the right time for me to run for president. I saw the club maybe dividing a little bit, and felt that as somebody who had been here for a very long time, my goal was to kind of bring our club back together. We've had divides before, we'll have divides again, and we always come back together. We're a family, and that's what we do. And then COVID hit. And I think with Jim Droney and I, he was the chairperson of the board at the time, worked quite a bit together. As a nurse during COVID, I was a little bit busy at work, and so he was able to do a lot here on a leadership role, and just working together. We were one of the very few businesses that was actually successful during COVID, bringing in lots of volunteers, different things, people making soups, charcuterie boards, all sorts of stuff so that we could remain open. And just a lot of support from members. And we really came together as a family, and I mean, as much as you can succeed in a pandemic, we did. My goal for president for the club was, one, we had a lot of committees in the past that really weren't doing a lot. There was, we had the House Committee that was very active, but a lot of the committees weren't as active as I thought maybe they could be. And we created a lot of new committees. Got a lot of people. Started the volunteer committee, which gets people and reaches out to new members about volunteering ways that they could get involved. We started a cultural committee, which then turned into the history committee, which is, doing all of this. Bernadette, the president after me, started all of this, and got a lot of good people involved. But I think by starting up all these new committees and enhancing the committees, we gave people an avenue to volunteer and get more involved. That, when somebody reaches out to you and says, hey, you know, we could use help with this. It's a lot easier to volunteer for something new when you are invited. In fact, I sent an email out to all members asking people if they were interested in committees, with a list of committees, and we received so many replies it crashed my email. And a lot of emails were lost, and then we had to send out follow-up emails because that's how many members from this club stepped in and said, yeah, sure. My happiest moments, I think, happened out on the pitch. You know, like me as a kid running around with all my friends and my cousins, playing games, just having fun. And then moving forward 20 years, watching my kids running around with all their friends and their cousins doing the exact same things that my brothers and I did, having them do it, and just the next generation. And, you know, the kids, oh, you know, so-and-so. And I'm like, you do realize that that's your cousin? Oh, wow, you know, small world. And I just think that it brings families together. And just the sheer fun that we had, you know, the memories of, you know, all the things that we did, traveling with the GAA, going to the different, for me, traveling, we went to New York, we went to Boston and places like that. And then with my kids traveling, my kids traveled to Chicago, Philadelphia, New York, Boston, Ireland. Kids, we toured Ireland with the GAA. And I mean, all the kids still refer to it as the trip of a lifetime. I think that the legacy would be how we came together and involving with all the committees. I mean, that really was the big thing with COVID, truthfully only having a half a year or less than half a year essentially as president. The coming together and involving a lot more people. I mean, that was an all hands on deck to get through, and working really well with Jim and myself, you know, and the leadership. I felt like we were able to do a lot. We did have the POS system that had been put in, the computer system for our bar that was put in a few years prior, and we were finally able to get all of the recipes and whatnot in there, which helps keep the inventory. They always had a very strict where they inventoried everything every month. They weigh every single bottle, and they do that, which they still do. But now we're better able to keep track of what's going out and watch that, you know, this inventory is accurate. We have what we should have, which we do, which we found that we do. We've done a lot here, and we've come a long way, and I think we still have a long way to go, and we will get there. First time I ran for vice president, we were up there, we were on the patio, the porch, because it was raining, it was cold rain, and this guy came up, gave me a big hug, and he's like, oh, God, I remember when I changed your diaper here. And I was like, not a long time ago. And I still have no idea who that man was. And it was actually his wife that did the changing. But that's how long I've been here, you know, and I plan to be here for a long time to come. I pick up the phone and call. I just have to call one of the kids or one of my brothers, and they're all here. You know, we had one day with pub grub, and the people that were supposed to do pub grub had an emergency like 2 hours before they should have got here. And I literally called my big brother and my kids, my nieces, my brothers, filled that kitchen and served that food, and had one of the busiest nights we've had here in a very long time. I cannot say enough how proud I am to be a part of this club, to have this club be a part of my family, and that I was honored to be a part of it.